Hello from the Living Coast Discovery Center. I am so excited that you are here. My name is Karen Quiros, and I am lucky enough to be the educator for the Coastal Education Program here at the Living Coast Discovery Center. Even though the center is closed to the public and I'm not able to lead programs daily on site, I am still able to bring these fantastic experiences to you virtually. This is part of a series of videos for the Chula Vista community where I am highlighting some of the Living Coast animal ambassadors. Today, I will be talking all about a special kind of reptile called a chuckwalla. This is Indi. He is an 8-year-old male chuckwalla and can be found locally, especially in the rocky desert areas of San Diego. He is mostly a blackish-gray color, but sometimes his body color can be different depending on the season and the region. Indi actually got his name because his body color can be indigo, or a bluish kind of purple color sometimes. Chuckwallas are in the same family as iguanas and in the overall class of reptiles. There are many types of reptiles. Can you name some? Well, there's many types of lizards, which is Indi's group of reptiles. If you mention snakes, turtles, tortoises, crocodiles, and alligators, you're correct. Did anyone mention the tuatara? They are similar to lizards, but actually are in a separate type of reptile. Let's think about this group of animals. Do you know some characteristics of reptiles? What do all reptiles have in common? If you watched my gopher snake video, you should be able to name a few already. Well, there's 5 main characteristics. First, all reptiles are vertebrates, or they have a backbone to help them crawl around. In fact, the word reptile means crawling animal, or one who creeps. As I touch Indi, I can actually feel the bumps down his back, just like you can probably feel yours on your back. A second characteristic of all reptiles is that they're ectothermic, or cold-blooded, which means they have to control their temperature with their surrounding environment. Chuckwallas, like Indi, can actually make their bodies flat, so the amount of sun that touches their body is maximized. This allows them to warm up much faster. Then, when they need to go cool down, they can contract their bodies and squeeze into cracks in the rocks to find shade. A third characteristic of all reptiles is that they breathe air like we do. Therefore, sea turtles, alligators, crocodiles do have to hold their breath, similar to what we have to do when we go underwater. Another characteristic of all reptiles is that most of them lay eggs. However, some do have live birth like we do. Chuckwallas do lay eggs, and females can lay between 5 to 16 eggs at once. An interesting fact is that the females won't lay eggs every year. If resources like food and water are hard to find, they will probably skip laying that season. A final characteristic of all reptiles is that they are actually covered with scales. Scales are hard plates that protect the body of these animals as they move around, mostly in hot, dry environments. Go ahead and feel your skin. Can you describe it? How does it feel? Well, my skin feels soft and smooth. Now, can you feel your fingernail? What do you think? Is your fingernail the same or different? I think it's different. It's more hard. Now, reptile scales are made of keratin, which is the same protein that's in our fingernails. So when you touch your fingernail, it feels very similar to when I am feeling Indi's scales. Wow! We just learned about the 5 characteristics of reptiles. They have a backbone, they control their temperature with their environment, they breathe air, most lay eggs, and they're covered in scales. Now let's learn a couple more cool facts about Indi and chuckwallas in general. Have you heard that snakes can smell with their tongue? Well, guess what? So do lizards. You might see Indy stick out his tongue now, but he usually does it more when he's eating. What do you think he likes to eat? Chuckwallas are mostly herbivores. Do you know what that means? An herbivore is an animal that only eats plants. Indy likes to eat fruits, leaves, stems, succulents, flowers, and grasses. However, if a bug comes wandering by, he might actually eat that too. When we eat, we usually like to wash down our food with water or liquid. However, chuckwallas actually hardly ever drink water. It makes sense because there isn't much water in the desert where they live. They do need water though, but they get it from the plants that they eat. They can actually store water in the sides of their body when it is more available. Now, something pretty gross, but cool, is that Indy actually blows a lot of snot out of his nose. This actually helps him get rid of extra salt. Too much salt in his body will actually make him need more water. So blowing his nose actually makes him need less water. I told ya, gross, but kind of cool. One last cool thing about chuckwallas is that they can regrow their tails if they lose them, but their tails don't come off as easily as other lizards. They can hear and see well, and they use their body language, like bobbing their head and even kind of doing push-ups to help protect themselves from attacks. They can even puff up their bodies when they are inside a crack and make it almost impossible for their predators like a hawk or a coyote or a snake to pull them out. What do you think? Aren't chuckwallas cool? I think so too. You can help protect these animals when you are hiking by staying on the trail and not disturbing their habitat. You can also help by keeping their habitat clean and not polluting. Okay, let's review what we've learned today. Ready for a quick quiz? Question 1. What type of animal is a chuckwalla? They are reptiles. Very good. Question 2. What do reptile scales feel like? They're hard, kind of like our fingernails. Question 3. Why do chuckwallas blow snot out of their noses often? Remember, they get the extra salt out of their body so that they don't need as much water. Question 4. How can you help chuckwallas? Stay on the trail when you're hiking and don't pollute. Thank you so much for joining me today. I hope you learned a lot about reptiles and chuckwallas. The more we understand about the animals around us, the more willing we are to protect and support them. Go find someone and tell them at least one cool fact about chuckwallas. That will help us. Indy and I thank you. Bye for now.